What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video for Friday, August 4th. We are back with a full slate. We're excited. 15 games, 11 of them on the main slate. We're going to cover it all. Big shout out to everyone who's subscribed in the past couple of days. Our numbers have gone up. It's been awesome. Big shout out to everyone who's donated onto our CashApp, which you can find in the description. Anytime you guys make it big, let us know. I would love to know what information you got from us that helped you out. So big shout out there. If you're new to the channel, anytime a video gets at least 50 likes and you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, the video is put on YouTube Random Comment Picker, and one person will win a free week of MLB DFS, or one free week, which now includes MLB DFS, MMA DFS, NASCAR DFS, and PGA DFS. And soon it'll be NFL. It also includes sports betting. Anytime a video gets at least 100 likes, we do the exact same thing. The person will win a free month. And anytime a video gets at least 125 likes, same thing happens, but someone will win a free year. Speaking of, if you go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, right here, go FTA Plus. You can sign up for 1 week or 1 month for $24.99, or right now, if you use the promo code NFL VIP on the yearly package, normally $199, you get $100 off of it right now for $99 while supplies last. So go check it out. Big shout out to everyone. A big way to help this channel is watch the videos, click on the ads, super easy to do, leave a comment so the algorithm picks it up, share it. A big thing is to share it, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you share it. Hopefully we dig in a little bit more, and I know we do. We actually do a deep dive into each slate more than all the big names. I'm not even going to give them traction. If you like what we have, please stick around. Hit that bell notification so you know when our videos are posted or we go live. So we're going to do this right now. This will be the winner from yesterday's video, and you have a chance to win every single day just to pile up on top of everything. So let's see who the winner is for this video. Congratulations, Steve. I feel like this is like I feel like you've won a couple of times before. I'm not even going to attempt Dedivanovich. Steve Dedivanovich, maybe. Whether or not, hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully you are in a bad streak, but we will hopefully right the ship. So like the video and tell me you saw this, and then either hit me up on Twitter or on X. I'm going to say Twitter every time, @advisors_team, or you can go ahead and hit us up on support. Our email is dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up for that free week. So congratulations, Steve, and come back tomorrow. You can win it again and again. So that being said, we got that out of the way. We've got 4 early games, and then we've got our main slate. So we are going to dig into these a little bit. So looking at this, Max Fried, fresh off the IL, going up against Kyle Hendricks. Braves at the Cubs. In theory, 3 weeks ago, I would have said smack the Braves completely. This game could be a shootout. Both of these teams' offenses are going off right now. We've seen I was 1 home run away from $4,000 on Wednesday night. Very upset. I needed Patrick Wisdom to hit one, and they pulled him out of the game. That would have turned $5 into $4,005, and we're not going to talk about that. We are back. We are going to dig into the numbers a little bit. So Max Fried, he did have a forearm problem, went on the IL, hasn't pitched since May 5th. So he's only made 4 starts this season. It's been almost 3 months since he's pitched. Don't know if he's going to be on a pitch count. Don't know if it's going to affect anything. His numbers are going to be skewed. We know this. He's got not such a good matchup here in Wrigley. We look at his splits. So again, they're not going to show much. He's not started much. Away, he's been good. 2-0 record away, but there's not enough information to go off of this. So looking at that, I just kind of want to look at the BVP just a little bit. We're not going to do this for every team because we have other options to go through when we do this. Again, stay tuned to the end of the video because we are going to give our top 10 batters through our simulation. So if you are new to the channel, we've I want to say partnered, but we've used AI to build out simulations with the ballpark rankings, simulations with the weather, the players, and the past BVP matchups, and then their last 10 games and last 20 games to come up with player pool that we like. And it's on the website. If you go here with MLB, you go so these are going to be for Thursday. So these are yesterday's. But looking at this, I just kind of wanted to show you what the MLB DFS player projections are. Now, these are part of the FTA Plus, but I just kind of wanted to show you the information that comes from here. We derive it from, you can't see it. We derive it from looking at all of that with AI. So we got batters here, and it's a bunch of batters. It's batters versus the opposing pitcher. Their projections here: plate appearances, home run chances, triples, doubles, singles, RBIs, runs, walks, and stolen bases. It takes into account the player, the weather, the ballpark, and stuff like that, and it's all the way down. So we have that on the website, and stick around at the end of the video because we will do our top 10 bats. And the thing is, we update these because we derive this and we run the simulations once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and a couple of times before lock, just to make sure, because some people are going to be out, and we can't help that. So they might be on there, but they might be pulled out from your lineup. So I wanted to make that you be aware of that. So looking at this, Bellinger 7 for 21 with a home run against the lefty. I don't mind. Bellinger's been on fire this year. Yan Gomes against a lefty I like. Suzuki is a righty I would take. Candelario I would take. Patrick Wisdom is only really good for a home run, so be that as it may, he might get pulled as well. Ian Happ, switch hitter, 3 for 4 with 2 home runs. Really like Ian Happ. So I will have yet another stack of the Cubs against Max Fried here. Then we got Kyle Hendricks. Again, nothing sexy out of him. He's faced the Braves before, 139 plate appearances, a massive 368 batting average against him, 13.7 K percentage. So again, he's not getting a ton of strikeouts, and we kind of know that. We'll look. He's usually good for about 5 strikeouts a game, but it's just, again, his record at home, 1-3, 4.22 ERA at home, and only 23 strikeouts. Which is kind of crazy. Just kind of looking splits-wise, 23 strikeouts in how many games at home? 6 home games. So looking at this, again, it's the Braves. I think we're going to be looking for just a complete game stack here. So both sides of the ball. So if we're looking at this against him, obviously Matt Olson and Wrigley I would absolutely love, specifically if the weather and the wind is blowing out. And we have weather tab on our website on the cheat sheet, and it talks about, which I might be making just a weather tab overall, a page itself, and just have that on a page so it's easier to read. I'm going to be building out the website a lot this summer, so hopefully you guys are here. Again, if you are already an FTA Plus member, if you log into our website and you edit your profile and you scroll down, you're going to be able to connect your Discord name to our server. We only have like 3 people in there right now. I built it out. It's ready to go. So if you are already an FTA Plus member, all you have to do is go into your account, edit, scroll down, and connect your account there. So Braves bats that have had success: Ozuna, 14 for 37. A lot of those numbers obviously coming with the Cardinals. A double and 3 home runs. Orlando Arcia's 8 for 29 with 3 doubles. Acuna 2 for 10 with a home run. Darno 5 for 11 with a double and 2 home runs. Olsen 2 for 5 with 2 doubles. I love him. Albies 5 for 8 with 3 doubles. I love him. Rosario. I mean, there's going to be a ton. I'm going to be stacking this game. I think there's multiple ways to stack different Braves bats. I think there's multiple ways to stack different Cubs bats. The problem is it's an early game, so it's not part of the main slate. So you got to get a little bit more creative when you're building it out. So I won't have any exposure to these pitchers. I will have exposures to both sides of the ball here with offenses. Next game, you got the Nationals at the Reds. You got Patrick Corbin versus Graham Ashcraft. We never know what we're going to get out of Corbin. We really don't know what we're going to get out of Corbin. Now, Take the Reds at home in Great American Small Park, where the ball flies out of the offense is above par here against Patrick Corbin. I'm all in. So we look at this. There's been a couple of Patrick Corbin days this year, and we've used him, and he's had success, and he's burned us a couple of times. Comes in with a 5.07 ERA. He's 4-4 on the road, 5.43 ERA away, and only 45 strikeouts on the road. So we look at game logs. I want to see if he's pitched against. I feel like he has. Yeah. So he pitched at home versus Cincy, gave up 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs, and that was in Washington. That wasn't even in this small park here. So I'm all in on stacking against him. We did take Patrick Corbin against the Mets, gave up 4 earned runs, 2 home runs, 2 strikeouts, got the W, but didn't do too well DFS-wise when we used him. So looking at that, I'm out on Corbin. I'm looking at the Reds bat. So it really just depends on who's in there. De La Cruz, Joey Votto, Spencer Steer against the lefty at home I really like, Friedel and Fraley. So this is another one where there's going to be a lot of, you kind of got to make sure that you can even play these games here. I don't know, since this is so early. I'm guessing you can on Fanduel all day. You can't on DraftKings, unless they've changed that. So that's something to kind of look at. This might be on its own. Then there might be 3 games here or 2 games here. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see how they do this. But I like a Reds stack here. Not so much a Washington stack. Ashcraft, I'll take an exposure on Ashcraft for tournaments, but that's pretty much it. I don't really want anything else to do with this game other than the Reds offense here. Then you got the Rays of the Tigers, Zach Littell versus Reese Olson, or Littell. Not really sure how you pronounce it. So we have Zach Littell here. 4.85 ERA. Game logs, I believe, was he an opener in his last start? No, he went 5 innings his last start. That was technically his first start. I don't know if it's going to continue. Let's see if there's any news. Yeah, there's no news. I don't know if it's going to continue. I don't know if he's going to be an opener for something. Against Houston, went 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. Actually had a really good game. They ended up winning the game 8-2, which was fantastic for him. Tournament-wise, he's a very cheap option. I don't know if you're going to be able to use that because I don't know. It's the first time he's gone more than 3 innings all year. So that is something to pay attention to. Cheap-wise, he's not going to cost you a ton going up against the Tigers. And the Tigers are, they can hit, but they can also be pitched really well against. So that is definitely something to look at. And then Reese Olson here. He has never faced the Rays before. We have seen pitchers this year do pretty good against them. Looking at this 1-2 record, 540 at home, only 29 strikeouts. Reese is coming off 6 innings against the Marlins, 4 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts, so a little bit lower on the end. Then you got 5 in these other games. So this is something to pay attention to. I don't mind Reese Olson here because he's never faced them before, but I will probably steer clear of this game right now until we run the simulations throughout the day to kind of see if we feel good about any of the players and if we see the weather and stuff like that. I don't know if I want much to do with this game. There's just so many other games tonight that we can play on the main slate. And then that brings us to the Mets at the Orioles, the first game. We do have some weather concerns. As you can see, the first 4 games have weather concerns here. That is something to pay attention. Obviously, depending on when it is, where it's at, we're going to have some weather changes. This just feels like a day where weather might be a concern a little bit more than we would like, and we got to pay attention to that. So definitely check out the weather before finalizing your lineups, and then that's it. So we got David Peterson versus Dean Kremer. The Mets, they got dominated by the Royals. I said yesterday that Carrasco was in a good spot, but I could see the Royals having a good game. Royals went off on that. I think they won 9-2 on Thursday. Now we have David Peterson versus Dean Kremer. There's probably a reason he's down here, which I kind of figured he was. 6,300 for David Peterson. Looking at his game logs, nothing good. He's an opener. He's not going to get you. He's starting. This would have been so he's technically a starter. He's been in the bullpen, I believe, since about July, after the All-Star break. That was Max Scherzer. Now Scherzer got traded, so we do look at Peterson. 3-7 record on the year, 5.92 ERA, 68 strikeouts. Pitching on the road, an 8.41 ERA on the road, and he goes into Baltimore against this Orioles team. I'm all over the Orioles bats here. I'm all over Adley Rutschman, Santander. We can see the other ones that we'd like here real quick just to look. But, yeah, I just don't. David Peterson, I have no I don't want anything to do with him off throwing with us. I don't want to look at the Mets bats, really. Nothing really scares me. If you want to go very contrarian, you could look at like Nemo, Lindor, who had a home run yesterday, Vogelbach as a very cheap GPP tournament option, Alvarez as well. I don't know if I'd pay up for Alonso, and I don't know about Brett Beatty either. But yeah, Gunnar Henderson I'd be looking at, Ryan Mountcastle, Santander, Austin Hayes, Adley Rutschman are the bats that I would be looking at against David Peterson in this one. And then Dean Kramer, we can find Dean Kramer. Look at his numbers if you want to take an exposure to the Mets because they've been so bad. 4.66 ERA, 10-4 record. Coming off kind of a couple of games, not so good games, giving up earned runs there. Did have 7 strikeouts against the Yankees. Home games, a little bit worse at home, but the Mets are bad this year. So I will take a flyer on Dean Kramer for tournaments, will not take Peterson, and I will look at the Orioles offense today. Royals at the Phillies, Jordan Lyles versus Aaron Nola. Lyles, 43 plate appearances, that's not much. Phillies back at home with Aaron Nola. Really love Aaron Nola here. We go to the top. He's the second highest priced pitcher. 4.44 ERA, 9-7 record. We used him his last start against Pittsburgh because it was Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, and we got burned. I'm not going to lie. This is what I think is different between all the bigger names of all the other DFS websites out there. They give you some plays. I personally, and I know some other people that think they steer you one way, and then they take the ownership percentages that are less, and they build out 150 lineups. They spend $100,000 in tournaments, and they win the money because they've steered the masses towards the other way. I am not that. And then when no one calls them out, you can call me out. I used Aaron Nola last week. He gave up 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 strikeouts against Pittsburgh. I was wrong. So I'm not going to be right every time. If I was right every time, I wouldn't have to make these videos for you. I would be a millionaire and I would never be wrong. And I wouldn't have to do this. I do this for fun. I do enjoy making videos for you guys, but I was wrong. I mean, he had a fantastic matchup against Pittsburgh and he shit the bed. That's exactly what happened. But I will go back to the well against Kansas City here. His home games, 3.27 ERA, he is better. We could have looked at it. His ERA on the road was worse, but he had a good matchup against Pittsburgh. But sometimes the ballpark factors are a thing. So looking at this, as long as the wind is not blowing all the way out, I love Aaron Nola here against Kansas City. I will pay $10,000 for Aaron Nola today. That is one thing I will do. So I would also look at the Phillies bats against Lyles. I'd be looking at, I don't know about Trey Turner. He just looked not good this year after the WBC. I would look at Schwarber. I would look at Stott. I would look at Harper, Castellanos, JT Realmuto. I would be looking at maybe Alec Boehm as well. So make sure they're in your lineup, but I'm rather stacking the Phillies here against Lyles and taking Nola as well. Astros at the Yankees. You got Hunter Brown versus Luis Severino. Brown's only faced one batter, so nothing to go off of. Sevy, his numbers are 111 plate appearances, a 243 batting average. He should not be starting. He should absolutely not be starting. He should be in the bullpen. Why? Let's look at it. 7.49 ERA, 2-5 record, only 50 strikeouts, 184 whip. He's averaging 6.4 fantasy points per game, and they've dropped his price to $6,500. Coming off, not even his work. That's the thing. Minus 7.7 fantasy points because he gave up 7 of the 9 earned runs in the first inning against Baltimore last start. Against Kansas City, he should have been better. He had a better game, but he should have been better against Kansas City. He's looked absolutely terrible. He's pitching at home, which He is better at home, but he's still got a 5.19 ERA, and he's facing Houston at home. I'm loading up on Houston. I know in my heart of hearts that Sevy has ace material. It's just not showing. I don't know what's wrong. His velocity is there. He's just not able to command the pitches. I don't know. It's like Alek Manoah. Maybe he needs to be sent down to rookie ball to work on something, or AAA or AA or single A. I don't know. Getting late in the season where we can't do that, but something needs to happen. He needs to be sent down. I don't even know if he can be sent down because he has so much service time. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. I'm not really sure. But something's wrong with him. I'm stacking 100%. I'm stacking the Astros here. Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Altuve, Chas McCormick. I'm looking at all of these. We look at Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown faced one of these batters. Coming off pretty good game here. He's 8,400. He's lower than what he was there. Splits-wise, away games, he is better on the road. The Yankees do strike out. He has more strikeouts. Would not be surprised if we see Hunter Brown have a career game against the Yankees here. Definitely will have some exposure to Hunter Brown, and definitely will have exposure to the Astros bats. As of right now, I don't know if I'll have any exposure to the Yankees bats outside of like Glaber and maybe Judge and IKF. But I'll have more exposure to the Astros as a stack, and Sevy getting absolutely ripped. And by ripped, I don't mean strong. I mean another 5+ run inning would not surprise me at all. Next game, Blue Jays at the Red Sox. You got Alek Manoah, who tried to kill Taylor Ward last start, versus James Paxton. In this ballpark, Fenway gives up a ton of runs. We know that. If you want to see what they give up, you can go to the MLB tab, and you can go to the ballpark stat ratings, and it'll have normally by 10 a.m. of the day of the games, it's all updated. It's usually actually updated by like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. So all of that will be updated, but there's a ton of runs that are given up in Fenway, so it's hard to want to take a pitcher, especially since Manoah has struggled a ton this year. We know his story. He struggled, then he went down, now he came back up. Here, Manoah, game logs. Against the Angels, only 4.1 innings, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. So pretty good game. I don't know why he only went 4.1 because he only threw 82 pitches. Time before that against Seattle, an okay start. Against San Diego, got 3 innings, 4 earned runs, 0 strikeouts there. Then obviously he came back and had a good game against Detroit. But away games, he is better on the road, but I do not trust him in Boston. I'll have zero. I could be wrong, but I'll have zero exposure to Alek Manoah on this slate. That brings us to James Paxton. If you've been with us for a while, you know that I am so confused on how he is still playing and not hurt. Not a clue on that. But his numbers are pretty good against Toronto. 129 plate appearances, 214 batting average. Then we go up here, and he is the 4th highest priced pitcher on the slate. I don't really know why he's listed as a relief pitcher, but he is. 3.34 ERA, 6-2 record, 80 strikeouts. Game logs, not the best against San Francisco. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, only 13.3, which isn't enough for a $9,900 price. Good game against the Mets, not against the Cubs. They've been on fire. Oakland could have been better. He faced Toronto here, 32.3. Might have been his best start of the year. Yes, that was at Toronto. So you can see, 7.2 innings in that game, gave up 3 hits, 7 strikeouts, dominated. Now he's at home, which is a little bit more leery because the ballpark does give up some runs, but I do like Paxton here. Home games, 2.25 ERA, he's better at home, a little bit less strikeouts, way less walks, less home runs, earned runs, and hits allowed. Also 3 less starts. But that being said, I don't mind James Paxton at home against this Toronto team that does not have Bo Bichette. Bats-wise, none really jump out to me at the moment. Maybe Verdugo, maybe Devers, Casas. It'll be more Red Sox bats than Blue Jays bats. I don't know if I'll have any Blue Jays bats at all. So I'm in on James Paxton and the Red Sox offense. I'm out on Manoah and probably the Blue Jays offense. White Sox at the Guardians. You got Mike Clevinger versus Logan Allen. Clevinger making his start against his former team. Logan Allen has been very up and down this year. So Let's take a look at I'm pretty sure Clevenger has been up and down too. Clevenger here, game log, or 3.59 ERA, 4-4 record. Just faced Cleveland his last start. 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 20.1 fantasy points, which is nuts for 5 innings because he only gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks. So he's faced Cleveland twice this year. 11 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 18.5 fantasy points per game is what he's averaging. Tournaments, I don't mind. I'm curious. There you go. So both of them were in Chicago. Went 6 innings in this game, went 5 innings in the other. Now he's on the road. Splits-wise, he is worse on the road. Way more earned runs on the road in one more start. More home runs, more walks, same amount of strikeouts. I don't think I'm going to have much exposure to Clevenger. Maybe throw him in a tournament, but that's probably going to be it for that. Then you got Logan Allen. Game log against the White Sox. Just faced this team. 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 4.9. Like I said, he's been up and down. He got sent down. Then he came back against Pittsburgh, dominated. It's going deep into games was his problem, but he's gone 6 and 7 innings here. Splits-wise, he is worse at home. More earned runs, more home runs, less walks, less strikeouts. So I really don't know. I will throw Logan Allen in a tournament, but I think I'd rather have the offense here. I think I'd rather look at Tim Anderson. I'd rather have the White Sox. I'd have Tim Anderson, Eloy, as long as he stays healthy, Luis Robert, there. Kind of what I would look at. So like a mini stack there of 3 players, what I'd look at. I'll have more exposure to the White Sox bats than I will have either of these pitchers. Then you got Marlins at the Rangers. You got the Jesus Lizard versus Jordan Montgomery. Montgomery making his Texas debut, just like Scherzer made his Texas debut on Thursday. Lizardo, 18 plate appearances, 200. Not much going on. But again, this offense here, I don't think I want much exposure to him. You come in here, and he's the 3rd highest priced pitcher on the slate. I feel like that's a trap. I don't know why he's priced that high. He's got a 3.38 ERA, 8-5 record, 147 strikeouts. He is getting a ton of strikeouts. But his last start against Detroit, it was Detroit. This is another one. I recommended Lizardo versus Detroit. Didn't work out for us. This is another one where I was wrong. You can't be right all the time. He had a bad game. Then he had a really good game against Colorado. Then he had a very bad game against the St. Louis team that he should have beat. Then good games against teams he shouldn't beat. It just makes a little bit of no sense. So we look at this. Away games, he's worse on the road. Gives up more home runs, less walks, considerably less strikeouts in 4 other starts, less hits. So you can kind of see that got 4 wins on the road, 4 wins at home. I'm probably stacking Texas here. You got Corey Seager back, a lefty-on-lefty matchup. I don't care. If it's in Texas, if it's hot and humid, the ball will fly out of there. They do have a retractable roof, but if it's nice out, they usually keep it open. If it's humid, the wind's blowing out, I'm absolutely all in on Texas even more. But I'd be looking at like Adolis Garcia. I'd be looking at Marcus Semien, who had a home run. I think he had a home run on Thursday. I would be looking at Seager, Josh Young, maybe a little bit of Austin Hedges as a very contrarian, or if you're stacking that way. But I think those top 3 Rangers bats I would look at. Then you got Montgomery making his debut for Texas. Game logs, not so good here. The strikeouts have been low here. We look at the splits. He's faced Miami once this year, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. A pretty good game out of him. But the problem is now his home games, it's a new stadium. I had a question yesterday in the video. Someone asked how long it would be for splits to be effective, like home and away after getting traded. I don't have the answer to that. I don't have any historical data to go off of that. If anyone does, or you guys know where to pull that data, definitely let me know. Would love to use that data as well, but I just don't know. I'm a little bit weary on this because Miami, they can hit righty or lefties. De La Cruz, you got Sanchez, you got Arise you could be looking at. These are bats that could have success. You got Jake Berger now. These would be ones that I just don't know. I don't know what to expect out of him. for his price at 8,100, I might be fading Montgomery. It could be wrong. If you're making 30, 40, 50 lineups, then yeah, get Montgomery in there for sure. But I will be probably under the field on Montgomery ownership-wise. But definitely all in on a Texas stack for sure in this ballpark. Next game, Diamondbacks at the Twins. You got Merrill Kelly versus Bailey Ober. Kelly's faced 37 plate appearances, 226, where Ober's only faced 5 of the Arizona bats. So we can look at this. Merrill Kelly somehow is 8,800. He's making a second start off the IL. Well, this will be his third start off the IL. Against Seattle, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. He's getting the strikeouts there. It's just, it's not been the best. He hasn't faced Minnesota this year. He is better on the road at 274. This could be one where he might be a tournament option for me. Think his name, with all the other names around here, I think his name will go, his ownership will be lower than you might expect against Minnesota. Might want to take exposure on that one. Bailey Ober's only $200 cheaper here. Game log coming off, this is one, I did use Bailey Ober against Kansas City. 600 runs in 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, minus 0.2. Not going to cut it. Had good games here, but at that price, those are not good games. Hasn't really had an effectively good game since July 1st. It's been over a month against Baltimore, where he went 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, and 8 strikeouts. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced Arizona. Home games, he is better at home, 2.98 ERA. He has more strikeouts, does have more walks. It is three more games, though. And 16 more innings at home exactly. So might take a little bit of Bailey Ober in tournaments. I don't think I'm looking at Bailey Ober in cash. I don't think I trust him at all there. So that being said, I think both of these pitchers are GPP options or tournament options. I don't think I'm trusting him in cash. And again, I'm going to have to wait to run the simulations before I feel confident of what bats I'm going to look at, but I've already ran the simulations 1,000 times, so we will go over that. We'll go over the top 10 players during that. So we'll do that in a little bit here. So that being said, tournament options, and then we'll wait to run the simulations throughout the day before I choose who I like bats-wise, if we like any. Pirates at the Brewers is next. Quinn Priester versus Colin Ray. Priester's never faced the Brewers before. Colin Ray, 18 plate appearances, so not much. We did use Priester in his last start. His last start came against Philly. 5 innings, 5 earned runs. Got the W somehow. 7 strikeouts. So 12.1 at 6,300. He was our SP2. I actually think we did cash in this one. He was our SP2. I can't remember who our top pitcher was in this one. But yeah, I mean, he comes in with a 9.19 ERA. Not good numbers. Hasn't faced Milwaukee, obviously. Now he's on the road where it's still 6.75 on the road, so not good. Not a ton, but I'm still not looking at Quinn Priester here. I'm probably going to be stacking Milwaukee against him. Then Colin Ray here. Looking at Colin Ray, a little bit up here at 6,700. Game log wise, he 13.1 fantasy points, so not a ton here. Going about 5 innings, so what we're looking at. Going up against Pittsburgh should be a good matchup. He faced them back at Pittsburgh on July 2nd, 6.2 innings, 17.4 fantasy points at 5,600. It's pretty good. It's the only time he's faced him this year. Home games, he is worse at home. So I probably am not using either of these pitchers. I would rather be using the Milwaukee bats here. I'd be looking at William Contreras. I'd be looking at Willy Adames, Joey Wiemer, and I'm probably looking big time at Christian Yelich again against Quinn Priester here. So probably avoiding the pitchers. I mean, there's just so many other pitchers. I'd be avoiding the pitchers here. Next game, Rockies at the Cardinals. Chris Flexen versus Adam Wainwright. Waino is the lowest priced pitcher on the slate. He should have retired. He gets lit up every single game. 7.18 ERA. Game logs, 4 earned runs there. He's given up at least 2 earned runs in every single start this year. He's not doing good. you're stacking Colorado against him. Just depending on what lineup comes out for Colorado. Probably, I would be looking at waiting to see what lineups come out, but I would be looking at taking bats against Wainwright for sure. I'm not using him. I wouldn't even use Wainwright at like $1,000. Absolutely not. Chris Flexen. I'm not using Chris Flexen either. He's second lowest here. Game logs, he's not doing good. Not really, going deep into games either. Against Oakland, it should have been better. Not. Against Oakland, 3.2 innings, 5 earned runs. Splits-wise, he's faced St. Louis one time this year, 4 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. I'm definitely stacking St. Louis. I'm stacking this game. Nolan Arenado was out Thursday. I don't think he's injured. I think it was just a day of rest. So I'd be looking at Tommy Edman, Goldie, Arenado, Newt Barr, Dylan Carlson on the St. Louis side there. So I'm 100% avoiding both of these pitchers. You can do what you want, but I'm not taking them at all. Then we got Seattle Mariners at the Angels. You got Luis Castillo versus Reed Detmers. Castillo, 81 plate appearances, 234. Detmers, 40 plate appearances, 235. Castillo is the most expensive pitcher on the slate at $10,200. Coming off really good games here, obviously. Now he gets a matchup against the Angels. Comes in with a 2.88 ERA, 7-7 record, 149 strikeouts. Splits, he's faced the Angels twice this year. 1-1 record, 11.2 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 16 Ks, averaging 24.5 fantasy points. That is basically more than what he's averaging on the year. I'm looking at this. Away games, he is worse, a little bit worse on the road. Other than that, I'm all in on Luis Castillo. I think he's got a fantastic matchup here against the Angels. And then that's Reed Detmers here. You got Detty here. I don't know why I called him that. I don't think I've ever said that. I don't think anyone's ever said that. But 4.35 ERA, 2-8 record, 127 strikeouts out of him. Splits. He's faced Seattle one time this year. 4.2 innings, 2 earned runs, 16.3 fantasy points per game is what we're looking at. Home games, he is better at home. Seattle's looked worse. Detmers does have a no-hitter on his resume from, I think, last year. I think it was last year. It was either last year or the year before. I'm looking at Detmers for sure. I like Detmers against Seattle. I could be burned by this because Seattle's got some righties that can hit lefties, such as Rodriguez, such as Eugenio Suarez, Teoscar Hernandez. They've got batters that can hit, but I will have exposure to Detmers. I think Castillo is more of your cash option for pitching. I think Detmers is more of your tournament option here, just because Seattle can hit, but their offense has looked lackluster the past few weeks. Then our final game, the Dodgers at the Padres. You got, and I looked this up. I'm like, you know what? I think Yu Darvish did pitch for the Dodgers. I forgot that it was only like half a year. He got traded, and then he went to the Dodgers for half a year. Then I believe he signed with the Cubs in 2018, I think. But looking at this, Darvish has faced the Dodgers a ton. 230 plate appearances, 28.7 K percentage, 214 batting average. Where is he? He's right here. Game logs, coming off a fantastic start against his old team in Texas. We actually used Darvish in this game. Went 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 9 strikeouts. Probably his best start of the year? No. He had a start against Chicago that was really good. Loves facing his old teams. I don't know if you want to use that narrative because I think it'll be a little bit lower owned because it's the Dodgers. But he's faced the Dodgers one time this year. 6.2 innings, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 26 fantasy points is exactly what we could use here. Home games, he is better at home, not by a lot. He still has a high ERA, but this is a pitcher's ballpark in San Diego. So I will have exposure to Yu Darvish, especially 8,300. You can see all of these other guys will be owned, probably a little bit more than Darvish. He could have, again, the Dodgers, obviously we know they're a really, very, very good team, but he has had success against them. And then trying to see if the Dodgers have anyone listed yet. Bobby Miller, last pitched on the 28th, so it should be his start. I don't know. If it's not, we'll have it on the cheat sheet. We'll have it on everything else if it is not him. So beware. but not the best. He's given up some earned runs here. Looking at this against San Diego, hasn't faced them this year. On the road, he's got a better ERA on the road. The problem is, 5 innings, 6, 4.2, 5.2. I know San Diego's a really good team, but they've struggled. I still don't think I'll have much Bobby Miller. If I'm making like 20-plus lineups, I might throw Bobby Miller in there, but I think I'd rather have Yu Darvish over Bobby Miller. And there you have it, everybody. That is the breakdown for Friday. I know we can hit 120 likes on this. Let's do 125 likes on this video. Let's get 120. Actually, you know what? If this video gets 100 likes, I'm going to give away a yearly pass. If you're still watching this video, this will be indicative of how many people actually listen to the end. This is not the end, though. We are going to give our top 10 players, batters, that we like through doing 1,000 simulations right now. So to get a paper and pen, this can and will change, but I wanted to bring this to you right now to kind of give you an idea. If you have an FTA Plus membership, check these out probably about noon, lunchtime, or like 3 in the afternoon. This should be updated. This will be different a little bit, but these, we've ran it through 1,000 already. So this is what we've found out so far. So number 1, Elly De La Cruz against Patrick Corbin. I think you're going to see Cincinnati is the number 1 stack here. It is an early game though, so use that. Number 2 is Aaron Judge versus Hunter Brown. Number 3 is Kyle Tucker versus Luis Severino. Number 4 is Matt McLain against Patrick Corbin. Number 5 is TJ Friedl against Patrick Corbin. Number 6 is Jake Fraley against Patrick Corbin. Number 7 is Jarren Duran versus Alek Manoah. Number 8 is Brandon Nimmo versus Dean Kramer. 9 is Andres Jimenez versus Mike Clevenger. And number 10 is CJ Abrams versus Graham Ashcraft. So I will repeat that one more time. Again, you can find this information on the website later on in the day, but it's Elly De La Cruz, Aaron Judge, Kyle Tucker, Matt McLain, TJ Friedl, Jake Fraley, Jarren Duran, Brandon Nimmo, Andres Jimenez, and CJ Abrams. So there you have it. Again, if you haven't checked the website out for a little bit, we have added MMA this week. The stuff's not there yet. Getting it up and running. I'm going to have a cheat sheet and our bacon station. So be that. I don't know if we're going to do lineups. We're giving you the information to build those lineups. Kind of want to get away from just giving you lineups, but we'll see. If we do lineups, they will be like core plays, and you can build your lineups through there. So got MMA. We've got PGA, which so far our cheat sheet's working really well. I've got a couple of lineups that I built through the cheat sheet that have, like, out of all the players, I think 3 of our players are in the top 10 right now, and we're winning some money now. But I'm going to knock on wood because it's a full 4-day thing, so it's going to change a little bit. NFL was back on Thursday night for the Hall of Fame game. You're not going to be doing anything for that. But I believe this is the start of 6 months of football every week now. Very excited. Very, very excited for that. So we're into the preseason. I'm going to start doing NFL content. We're going to start putting out videos, articles, preseason stuff. So definitely check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Also, going to our articles and looking at the ads in the articles and clicking the ads also help the videos out, or help our website out on top of these videos. So help me pay the bills. That's what I'll say. So yeah, we're bringing it in. If everything goes well, I'll bring NBA back, doing videos every day if you guys are checking that out. And I don't know about NHL yet. Not confident in NHL right now, but anything can happen. So that's what we've got going on. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Check back for tomorrow. We'll be back. Good luck to everyone on this slate. And as always, bring home that bacon. Peace!